to the Louie Belina Show. It is Tuesday. The Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric on a Tuesday. I'll share with you the Loopprint. What is a Loopprint? It's how we do between now and 2 o'clock here on the Louie Belina Show. Coming up shortly, 11:20, Logan Lee will join me inside the Charles Schwab Studio. And you might be asking to yourself, what in the wide world of sports is a Logan Lee? Great question. Many a person has come up and asked me that. Logan Lee played basketball at Texas A&M University. He coached basketball at Texas A&M University and the University of Kentucky. That's the credentials. Logan joins me here inside the Charles Schwab Studio each Tuesday, right about 11:20. We talk a whole lot of buckyball. We are entering the second half of the SEC basketball season. Aggie basketball currently sits in a tie for third place. According to Joe Lunardi, who this morning updated his bracketology, Aggie Hoops is an 8 seed, safely in the tournament, unless, you drive into a telephone pole. Logan and I will discuss Missouri tomorrow night, the rest of the second half of the SEC season, and more. Logan Lee, 11:20. At noon today, it is a very, 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 very special treat. I'm a big fan of his, and I think most Aggies are, matter of fact. He is the Texas Sportscaster of the Year. He is the voice of Aggie Athletics. Andrew Monaco joins us here on the Louie Belina Show at 12 noon. About 3, maybe 4 times a year, Andrew, come on down. Monaco joins us here inside the Charles Schwab Studio, and we really hang out. I love hearing about the plans he has. I like hearing about the adventures he's having, and just, he truly loves what he does. I love talking to people like that. So, 12 o'clock, Andrew Monaco, voice of Aggie Athletics, the Texas Sportscaster of the Year, joins me inside the Charles Schwab Studio. Then we shall end our day. That's 1:50, like we do each Tuesday with the Community Spotlight. What is a Community Spotlight? A lot of questions today. We've just started. The Community Spotlight, I visit, there's 4 different nonprofits. Twin City Mission, Aggieland Humane Society, United Way of the Brazos Valley, and the Brazos Valley Food Bank. I visit with a different one each Tuesday, and what do you have coming up? They share their mission. You can find out how you might be able to assist, volunteer, donate. But also, there's people out there that might find hope, might find the help they need, or hope and help for someone they know. So the Community Spotlight, every Tuesday, 1:50. Today, it is the Aggieland Humane Society. There's more. Every day this week, if you text me, participation on the Louie Belina Show, it is very rewarded. This week, if you text me, guess what? What? You have a chance. You might win a pair of tickets to the Troubadour Festival. It's March 28th, Midtown Park in Bryan. It is a barbecue and musical experience. There's nothing, and I mean there's nothing out there like it. The barbecue, you got 30 of the top, Texas Monthly told us so, 30 of the top barbecue joints in the state of Texas. And it's all you can eat. It's glorious. I've been every year. Then, once the afternoon into evening and the night comes around, you've got music. Incredible music. Headlined this year by Fighting Texas Aggie Robert O'Keene, Flatland Cavalry 2. It is phenomenal. So you can win. Somebody's going to win a pair of tickets. Each day, last week, each day this week, I pull a name at the end of the day from all the people that text in. Questions, comments, opinions. Aggie football, Aggie basketball, Aggie baseball, Aggie softball, wine, whiskey, beer, steak, pizza, burgers, whatever's on your mind, text me. 979 973-1150. That's my text message number. Program it in your phone. Knock yourself out. 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. Texas Mobile and Lube Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. We're going to begin our day. Top story in college athletics, I believe. And yesterday, afternoon, or was it evening? I believe it was afternoon anyway. Former pro Charles Bediako, and that's the Alabama currently basketball player, has been denied a preliminary injunction against the NCAA, and he is no longer eligible to play for Alabama this season. He was granted eligibility to play for Alabama in a Tuscaloosa court by a Tuscaloosa judge who was an Alabama donor. Everything about this case, everything about this story has been wrong, has been absurd. It's been so outside the boundaries. This has had nothing to do with player rights. It's had nothing to do with student rights. This is abusing the system. This has been, and I have always been about player rights. I've been about the rules of the rules. I have, and if you know Jim Rome in the Jungle, he's the first one that ever beat this to death. But if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, because everyone in sports is cheating because they're trying to win. There's millions/billions of dollars at stake. Everybody's looking for every edge. I've also said, because yes, that's a part of my belief system, that when you get caught, you should always have the book thrown at you, like the maximum punishment. Because everybody's cheating. So if you're so bad at it, you get caught, then you deserve everything. You deserve the entire universe to be collapsed upon you to the full strength of the law. No technicalities. When you get caught, you deserve to be burnt to ashes in the if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying universe. No, my bad. But that's a whole different conversation. That's where the ineptness of the NCAA has let it get rotten and corrupted and disgusting. Back to Charles Bediako. From the start, the rules have been straightforward and simple. There's no universe he should have played. But they found, they followed it in Tuscaloosa, state level. They found a donor. He is not eligible under any definition. There is not even a technicality. It's outright just because the judge said so. And now, remember, the judge had to recuse himself from the case. Sure enough, once you took out an Alabama donor is no longer in charge, holy cow, he's no longer eligible. That'll be the least shocking thing you'll hear this year. Now is the time for actual justice to take place. And I'm already pissed off at the NCAA. People are calling for Alabama to automatically be ineligible for the NCAA tournament, forfeit the rest of their games. That might be too much justice. But Alabama should have to forfeit every game he played in. They're the ones that should have to suffer the risk of playing a player under those circumstances. Because they knew what they were doing. They went to the Tuscaloosa court with a donor judge. Everybody involved knew what they were doing. There needs to be consequences in the world we live in. This was hot garbage from the start. And again, everybody wanted to play the dance. But that's the thing about cheating. And I've said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. When you get caught, you need to be burnt to the ground. That's the only fair way to live in that universe. Alabama had their donor judge removed. So now they've got caught. They need to forfeit all 5 games he played in. See, I'm not saying they need to go forfeit their entire season and be ineligible for the NCAA tournament. But every game he played in, they should have to forfeit. And he played in 5, right? So they should be 0-5. But now what the NCAA is saying, from what I saw, if I missed something, they're saying they'll take it into account when they evaluate Alabama's resume. Timeout. What does that even mean? You can tell us right now. You don't have to take it into account because it's already happened. It's done. Don't take it into account. Just tell us. That means nothing. You don't have to take it into account. You already know. You can tell us right now what's the impact of having an illegal pro player 5 games. But what about the 5 teams they played? Are you going to take that into account when you evaluate the other 5 teams? Why are you creating, see, the NCAA, let's make it as hard, difficult, and stupid as possible, right? So instead of doing the right thing, which is the NCAA's battle cry against Bediako's, let's do the right thing. They can do the right thing. The simplest thing is, okay, you forfeit all 5. You used a player that you knew was ineligible, who violated every rule. The NCAA went to court to tell us he was ineligible and that this was an abomination. And then when the courts agreed and made him eligible, they said, we'll just take it into account. There's no punishment. The NCAA didn't follow up. Again, the NCAA had a chance to do something right and just. Did they not? The NCAA can't get out of its own way, can't take one easy dub in the story, can they? Hell no. It's just fascinating to me. They're going to take it into account. So not only are they not making them forfeit the 5 games, isn't there like a competitive disadvantage for all the teams that had to play Alabama when they had the illegal pro, and now all the teams that get to play Alabama without their illegal pro? Is that going to be taken into account too? And we know how the committees work and the human factor, right? They can't even take head-to-head into account properly, but they're going to do this transitive, dismissive property of, yeah, but what if the pro wasn't there? They're 0-5 in the stretch. And what if they just did vacate? You know, when they vacate wins, they don't give wins to other teams. Couldn't they just do that? No. We'll take it into account. The NCAA is so tragic. The NCAA could have controlled everything. NIL, transfer portals. But the NCAA does not take action. The NCAA does not do change. The NCAA had to let, the House of Representatives, or was it the Senate, do NIL. They had to let our courts and legal systems have the athletes sue their way into the modern version. If the NCAA had ever taken action, if they had updated a 100-year-old playbook over time, we would have none of this. And it's moments like this where you just realize like how lost, clueless, out of touch, how they have no vision, concept, direction. Because they just can't even do the right thing, the layups. They're like 1 for 21 on layups. That's the NCAA. We will not see, for college athletics, movement forward until the NCAA is gone as a governing body. Because people say, you know what we need? We need a CBA. You know what we need? And there's always the answer. We need a commissioner, and it needs to be Nick Saban. Nick Saban's in for himself in Alabama. Why would you ever want Nick Saban to be the commissioner of college football? And if you're not familiar with commissioners in sports, every commissioner works for the owners. The owners are the commissioners of the conferences. You can't get the Big Ten and the SEC to agree on 16 or 24. So you have owners that can't agree, and you think you're going to hire a commissioner who works for the owners. A commissioner's not going to fix college football. And then it's Nick Saban, who people praise his work on, game day. But if you've ever heard him, he told Lane Kiffin he should stay, but yet he fired him too. No. You need a governing body. It's supposed to be the NCAA. They're incompetent and incapable. And just take a look at this moment. They can't do the simplest thing in the world that's the most obvious and easiest thing in the world. The NCAA president, once the ruling came out, said, his very first sentence, common sense won around today. The NCAA has not used common sense in probably 20 or 30 years. I don't even know how you'd recognize common sense if it hit him in the head with a frying pan. It's frustrating because I happen to be, don't know about you, one of the biggest fans of college athletics in the universe. I love me, and I've spent my entire life following, watching, covering, calling, and just being a fan of all of college athletics, essentially. And it's this, that it went this far, that it even got eligible, that the NCAA has opened itself up, but then 5 games. And again, you don't want to give wins to people, then just have them vacate something. Nope. It'll be taken into account. Ran over. I'm done. I'll come back. Logan Lee makes everyone smile. I'll be one of them. This is the Louie Belina Show. Just getting started on a Tuesday. It is the Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric.
Spend your late nights with Sports Center all night from ESPN Radio here on The Zone.
It is the Louie Belina Show from inside the Charles Schwab Studio. I am not alone. Logan Lee played basketball at A&M. He coached at A&M Kentucky. He has refereed the game. He knows a thing or three about some hoops. That's why he joins me Tuesdays inside the Charles Schwab Studio. Logan, your thoughts on a pro player no longer allowed to play because a Tuscaloosa judge who's a donor was no longer allowed to decide his fate?
Look, do you expect anything less? That is my question. Do you expect anything less?
No. The second you knew they were getting a new judge, you knew he was going to be ineligible, but the NCAA is not going to make them forfeit the 5 games.
No.
Vacate the 5 games, and basically has said, as a committee, we'll take it into account. Whatever that means.
It doesn't mean anything.
I don't understand.
What I don't understand
as a fan of the game, and I feel offended.
I mean, again, do you expect anything less? I just don't understand how this committee, and it really not just this one, in its entirety from day one, seems to not have any foresight to anything. Hey, this could happen, so what are we going to do? Hey, okay, there are 2 ways that this is going to play out. Either the judge is going to say, yes, he can play, or the judge is going to say, no, he cannot play. Why don't we understand? Like, those are the only 2 options. Why do we not have scenarios for those options? Why do we say, okay, well, we're going to wait and see. Oh, now that there's a ruling, now let us go take that into. There were only 2 options. It's not like there were 1,500 options. This isn't a sonic slush that you can just create your own and have 200,000 options. No, you have 2 options.
Yes or no.
Yes or no. And in each scenario, it's very simple on how this should play out. Why are we saying, we're going to consider all the information?
I understand something about the current state of the NCAA. They have been sued into scaredness, where they are scared to do anything. They are scared into they're frozen. They don't want to take action on anything because they don't want to go to court over it. But this is their ineptitude before they got sued to death. I mean, this is actually just business as usual, to be fair.
If they had done their jobs
correct
in the very beginning,
yes,
no one would be suing them for anything.
If they had changed with the times, and that's the problem, as opposed to just saying, well, this is the rule book we had 100 years ago. Why are we going to update it? That was the problem with the NCAA. They never updated as technology, money, financial ecosystems. As the world changed, they never did.
And to play devil's advocate, this could all have the culture of suing somebody when you don't get what you want, or when something happens to you that you say, well, it wasn't my fault. Well, it actually was your fault, but it wasn't my fault, so somebody else is going to pay. That all started way back when McDonald's got sued for the coffee being hot and it was spilled on them. Mm-hmm. And there was nothing written on there that says, caution, hot contents. Well, it's a cup of coffee. What do you expect?
And the court agrees
that, oh, well, because you're dumb, you didn't tell the dumb person that the hot coffee was hot. Like, and that's when and you're going to get me in a whole waterfall of situation, but basically you got to treat everybody like they're dumb as rocks, and you have to explain it out to the T about what is going on and what's happening. And so I'm playing devil's advocate now for the NCAA, which I don't know why I am, but I am, because you're right. They get sued for everything when there is nothing, even sometimes there's nothing to be sued about. Hey, they gave you a ruling. Live with it. It's the rule. I don't know what else to say, but, but you're going to find a lawyer that's going to take a case somewhere, and he's going to try to find a loophole somewhere. But
they do things like NIL, where they were warned. I don't know if it was Congress, the representative. They were warned by our government that if you don't put a system in place, we will. For 2 years, they were warned about it, and they did nothing. So then, whatever branch of our government said, our ruling is that each state will decide, and it has created this system we know. Yeah, but don't you think the NCAA could have? It was in their court. But they had the power. But don't you think that for the people in charge at the NCAA at the time, don't you think that was the easiest move for them? Hey, we're not going to take the blame for anything. Hey, we're not going to create rules. Hey, all we're going to do is listen to whatever the Supreme Court ruling is, and then you get to do what you want. And then everybody's doing their job for them. And then they get paid still. And then when you leave it up to the states, you have 50 different versions, 50 different systems. But they're still getting paid, within a conference, it's not They're still getting paid, and it doesn't matter because the NCAA's getting paid. Yeah, yes. They're just getting a check for doing no work. Again, that means what they said was, we'll let someone else do our job, and we don't care what it looks like. Yep. Okay. That's. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night doing that, but I don't even know what to say to all of this at this point. It's so bad. Aggie basketball at Missouri. And the Charles and the Bediako thing is so dirty and disgusting and foul and cheating and all the above. And now that Alabama's been caught, they actually have no punishment. But I was told that's another part. And I don't know if this is true. They have no punishment. There was another player who had, I believe, played a game in the league, in the NBA, got cut and was already trying to come back to college. And I think if that story hadn't broken out, and if that hadn't caught a little wind in its sail, the ruling for Bediako may have been different. But the judge, I think, could see where this is going and saying, oh, wow, this is going to open up Pandora's box for every G League dropout to come back and play college hoops and collect 7 figures on NIL deals that they would have. Sometimes it'd take some of those G League guys 10 years to come close to that. When they can say, oh, never mind, I'm not going to go play G. I'm going to go back to college. But don't you make the decision to give up your eligibility to go to the NBA draft? Yeah. then what's the question?
There is no question. I don't know. I have hopefully this ruling shuts that down. Then it's one less thing that the NCAA and that college coaches have to worry about. I don't even know how you can even say, like, how did Nate Oates even come to the fact of, hey, you know what? I know he got drafted. I know he played in the G League.
I know he's not eligible.
But we're going to make him eligible.
That's the conclusion you come to.
Like, how is it possible?
I know he's not eligible, but, right? Think about the opening sentence. I know he's not eligible, but
we might be able to sue and get him eligible.
I know a judge. Yeah. I play golf with him on the weekends. Yeah. He's a donor. And we talked about this on the 15th hole. We can bring him the case. I gave him an extra basketball that the team signed. He'll declare him eligible. But how can he do that? He's not eligible. Just work with me here. He'll declare him eligible, and he could play. And they're going to appeal. It comes back to him every time. Yeah. What if they remove him? They can't do that. Oh, hole in the plan. They can do that.
Nope. He recused himself.
Well, he had to.
I know.
That was
yeah.
And then Nate was like, we got 3 wins out of it. They went 3. Think about this too. Nate Oates, his career, Alabama, all of them did it for 3-2.
Yeah.
They didn't go 5-0. They didn't go 3-2 for that.
And like
they couldn't have went 3-2 without him.
Like you said, if you're not cheating, you're not trying in this game. And when you get caught, you said they should burn. Well, they're not burning. They just got caught. And now it's, hey, I got 3 wins out of it. So let's move on.
I'll tell you something. I am from the, if you're not cheating, you're not trying universe. I do believe that because everyone's cheating. And Logan, you know the underside of athletics.
What?
Everybody's cheating.
No.
Everybody's looking for that edge.
No.
Stop it.
Not everybody.
Don't make me throw a Sharpie at you.
I'm just saying.
I'll take the cap off and throw it.
No.
Here's the problem with that. No one pays anymore. It pays to cheat. The punishment never fits the crime anymore. It is 1,000,000% worth it to cheat.
But it's really not there. I mean, are there even any rules anymore? I just go pay the player.
No, pay the judge. You're looking at it wrong. Have a judge in your pocket. It's worth more.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. There are no rules, so it's really technically not cheating.
Was that your phone?
No, it wasn't my phone.
First time on a radio show?
No, it wasn't my phone.
Oh,
that was your phone.
No, my phone would not make that.
Prove it.
Someone call me and they can hear my ding. It doesn't sound like
Prove
that.
it.
That sounds like your wife's
Everybody
phone.
listening right now knows that was your phone and not mine.
Look, people know better. People know me. They would trust my phone before they trust your phone.
I think they would trust me before they trust you.
Well, easy. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Look, all right. We'll talk A&M Florida briefly. We'll talk A&M. We'll talk A&M Missouri. We'll get to buckyball. Just the Bediako thing is a fascinating moment, I feel like, in college basketball history for me. And offensive as hell, too. We'll be right back. It is the Louie Belina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. That's CC Electric. It's the Louie Belina Show on The Zone.
Sign up for the Zone newsletter and be in the know about community events, contests, prizes, the guest lineup that day, and more.
I love it.
Sign up at zone1150.com.
The Louie Belina Show Tuesday. I got that down. Louie Belina Show Tuesday. Inside the Charles Schwab Studio at Logan Lee, former player at A&M Kentucky, former player at A&M, former coach at A&M Kentucky, hangs out with me Tuesdays. A quick text message from Casey in Boston who says, insurance guy here. The hot coffee lawsuit was because the coffee was molten. It was not at its normal hot temperature, but was much hotter than it should have been.
Are you an insurance guy or a lawyer? Because they sound like a lawyer.
Could be the same. And I don't know. I almost still put that kind of in the same-ish category for me. If you're suing because you say your coffee was molten, I mean, when I see the smoke coming up and steaming,
look, man,
that's my clue to go, that's hot.
I don't care what you say. You can argue it to death, and you may even be right. Casey, I appreciate you texting in. You may even be right, but I don't care. If someone hands me a cup of coffee, I am going to know that it is hot. And if it spills on me, that is my fault because I spilled it. It is not McDonald's fault that I spilled it on me.
A&M basketball Saturday took on Florida, played their second worst game of the year.
They were not hot.
Oh, they were not hot. No, not at all.
They were not
Buster
molten.
Poindexter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, they played Florida. Florida came in, hottest team in the SEC, playing like a defending champ. And they showed up and they did what they've been doing. They played their A game. A&M played their second worst game of the year. It's two forces going in different directions.
Second worst game
Oklahoma
of the year?
State was their worst game of the year.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They didn't shoot 3% from the field.
But A&M had such a great second half, they screwed up and made their stats look better than they were. They padded their stats in the second half.
That's fine. That was their worst game of the season. Starting out 1 of 27. I think the lowest I saw was like 3.2% from the field. Oh, man. And you know what?
Okay.
They still held them to 30 points in the first half.
They shot 7.14. Oh, you want to be exact. 7.14% from the three-point land in the first half. They went 1 for 14.
Golly.
They shot 17%, period, field goal percentage in the first half. They went 6 of 35. 17%. If I saw the stat on my screen correctly, they were the first team to be held under 20 points in a half in the whole season SEC play. No one's been held under 20 points in the entire SEC play in a half.
I mean, that's hard to do.
Yes!
Now, look, I think a little of that was A&M having an off night. I think a little of that was Florida and its length and the size and the quickness that really rushed everything that A&M was putting up. Even open threes, they were rushing the
100%.
attempt because those Florida guys are so long and are so athletic that they forced 3-point shots to be adjusted. And I truly believe that it was maybe
they are ghosts.
Maybe they weren't. Florida wasn't even able to close out, but in A&M's mind, because they were moving so quickly, they were able to close out, and they had to rush their shot, and that's why they were missing those shots. And I do think that A&M had a little adjustment in the second half, but Florida was already rolling. And man, the start of the first half, the start of the second half were killer for A&M because it just. When Florida has such a good team like that and they get on a roll and they have the momentum, it's hard for anybody in the country to stop them. You know, I watched Arizona and Kansas last night, and I think Florida can play with both of those teams as well. Like, Florida's that good. I really do believe that. You know, we talked about, are they an Elite Eight team? And I said, I'm not sure if we go Final Four yet. And you say, well, just stop at Elite Eight. I'm kind of inching up on the Final Four. I'm still not sure if they're there yet because their guards are going to have to get better.
But they have the tools.
But they have the tools, and they showed it at Reed Arena. I mean, that was a tough game. I am still all in with Buckyball and what he's doing because I am confident in this staff and this team that they learned some lessons and they will be better for this loss.
Do you think the problem is there was too many people there? The record crowd of the season of 12,831?
No.
And the players were too nervous seeing that many people?
No.
And maybe less people should show up?
I think the problem was...
There's a lot of people right now that have no idea I'm being a smart aleck. And they're like throwing stuff at the radio. And they're like, Louie is such an idiot. And they're just people that don't get it sometimes. It's okay.
It was a fantastic crowd, though. I mean, that was here's the difference. Okay, I got two things to say about the crowd and the enthusiasm for basketball right now. Against Florida, even though A&M lost and played really poorly, I think everybody that showed up to that game will return to Reed Arena at some point. It's not like in years past where if Buzz's team got on a roll and they won a couple of big games and then they dropped a game by 30 or whatever it was, 25, or Turgeon would do that in his time. Billy Kennedy would do that in his time where they'd win some big games and then they'd come home and a big crowd would be there and they'd belly flop and all of a sudden there's no support. I still think Bucky's going to have the support, even though they played a really bad game. Second story. I had a buddy text me, said, here's what Bucky Ball has done to this community. I'm at Tractor Supply, and this is on Saturday morning. I'm at Tractor Supply, and there are two couples talking at Tractor Supply, and I overhear them, and they say, yeah, we've got to hurry up and get our chores done so we can get to basketball tonight. It's like, when in the world have you ever heard a conversation like that at Tractor Supply?
Never.
By two couples, not students, or like two older couples that are, hey, I've got to get my chores done early so I can get to the game tonight. That hasn't happened in forever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome.
That's where the support's coming from, and that's what this team and this staff has done in 6 months? It's crazy. It's awesome. I love it, and it's only going to keep growing.
Logan Lee hanging out with us inside the Charles Schwab Studio on Tuesday, because that's the day he hangs out with us. When he even makes it at all. But still, Logan Lee hanging out with us inside the Charles Schwab Studio. Missouri tomorrow night. And even Vanderbilt at Vandy, a 12 o'clock game on a Saturday. It's very simple. Missouri has moved up, but they're still on that next four out. They're not even on the last four out. They beat A&M. That moves them up the bubble. Maybe they'll be the last four out first. They need this game like they need oxygen. Vanderbilt is fading to a degree. So it's two teams that are desperate. A&M's lost two straight. Not desperate, but need the dub to just get back moving forward.
Absolutely. This isn't a must-win game, but I think it's a heavily weighted game, not for the bracketology side, but for the morale and the confidence side. You don't want to go on a 3-game skid and then have to go to Vanderbilt. Like, even though you said Vanderbilt is on a little skid, yeah, they are, but they lost to Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma's still a good team. They've just come to some roadblocks. But going to Vanderbilt, that's a hard place to play. The court set up, everything the way it is. That's a hard place to play, and they have a pretty good team. So now you're playing a pretty good team on their home court. You don't want to lose the Missouri game, be on a 3-game skid, and then you feel the pressure of, man, we can't go on a 4-game skid at Vanderbilt. Bad location, bad court, so on and so forth. And then who is it after that? Arkansas.
Well,
Ole Miss.
okay,
Ole Miss after that.
Into OU. Then the final three, that last 3-game stretch, Arkansas, Texas, Kentucky. And that's 3 NCAA tournament, 2 of them extremely safely NCAA tournament teams. So
you've got to rack up the games right now. You don't want to go on a 3-game skid. You've on your home court. Let's steal one back. Let's get it. Let's get back on track. And then I think they win Missouri. It catapults them into a win at Vanderbilt.
Agree completely. Actually,
that's huge. And so it's not a must-win game, but man, it means a lot. It means a lot.
You want to keep. I think the spot that Bucky Ball is in. I don't think they're a top 25 team. I think they're that 26 to 35.
I agree.
I think that's the exact correct spot, because I'm someone that wondered the whole time why they're not ranked. Like, the whole time they weren't ranked. I thought they should have been ranked, but last week kind of brought home they're exactly where they should be. They're the 8-9 line. Maybe I could push it to 7, because 7 means you're still 26, 27, 28.
Yep.
So I could push them to 7 and be comfortable with it. They have not beaten a top 25 team this year.
No.
They have not beaten a ranked team this year. And I'm okay with all of it. So Missouri's not a top 25 team. Keep the spot you're in.
Yep.
You should beat Missouri. Vanderbilt is.
But they can get that game, though.
No, I know they can. But that's my point. You should beat Missouri. You're at home. Beat Missouri.
Yep.
Keep the spot you're in. And if they just follow the rest of their schedule, keep the spot they're in, they'll be like at 12 SEC wins. They might sneak to the 7 line.
Holy
no
cow.
worse than 8.
Just think about what you just said.
I know.
They could be at 12 SEC wins.
I know. Trust. I thought about that.
When the season started, we were hoping for 8.
Okay, we were hoping 500, but I think doubtful actually would have been the correct tone.
Oh, I was doubtful.
You
on
were
500.
like 6. Yeah, you thought they were going to go like 2 and at 16, I think.
Wow.
So,
Lou,
Logan.
For the people that are just listening for the first time.
Hi. Hello. Welcome.
You can't say things like that because they might believe you.
You're right. He said 4 and 8, 14. You're right.
I'm pretty sure that I said I would be happy with 8. I would be happy with 8 wins. I'd be ecstatic with 10.
Yeah. Okay. The thought was losing record was probably logically the most likely. They could do the 500 thing. It was in play, but not likely. 8 and 10. Yeah. 8 and 10. Yeah. The more you said 8 and 10, because I kept thinking 8 and 8. I was like, you weren't on a 500 thing.
I think it was 8 and 10 is what I thought they would. What I thought they would be.
And I picked them like 15 and 3. I've been on board since the start.
You still got a chance.
They ain't going 15 and 3. I'll tell you what. I did math. Ken Palm picks them to go 6 and 2 in their last 8. Really? I'm rounding down by 1, so I go 5 and 3. Finishes them at 13 and 5. And holy cow, you got to be kidding me! What an incredible year 1.
5 and 3. I think so. Let's see. I think they get Missouri.
Check.
They get Vanderbilt.
Check. Ole Miss, Oklahoma.
I think
Ole Miss, Oklahoma. That's 4. Next 4. There's no reason not to win the next 4.
I don't know enough about Ole Miss. I think that's my problem. I don't know enough about Ole Miss.
And that's at home.
And it's here at Reed.
And it's a midweek. Means Ole Miss is traveling in the midweek.
That helps.
Yeah.
That helps. Oklahoma's going to be tough. And then the last 4 will be tough.
Oh, Arkansas, Texas, Kentucky, LSU. If you take care of business in the next 4, you need one of them to go 5 and 3. It's that. It really is that simple.
Yeah, but so this is the 4th game of that 5-game stretch that we were talking about, right?
No, this is the 4th game.
That's what I just said. The 4th game of the 5-game stretch. So Missouri would be 4, Vanderbilt would be 5.
Yep.
And we were talking about if they went 2 and 3, we'd be okay with that.
Survivable, yeah.
So
3 and 2.
Right now they could be 3 and 2.
Dang right. See,
and
it's not as bad as people think. Florida just made it feel bad.
Look,
win
Florida's
the next 2.
Good.
You went 3 and 2 in that 5-game stretch. Win the next 4. You're cruising into the postseason, and I would say you're favored in 3 of 4, and 4 of them are just straight up winnable. It's good.
Florida's good, and unfortunately, they're going to win a lot of games. But I've got to say this. I said it in the break. Todd Golden has moved up to my number 2 most disliked
Just villains.
coach.
Just say villains.
Villain. Well, he's not a villain.
Who's number 1? Scott Drew.
Paul Mills.
Scott Drew.
Paul Mills.
Who's Paul Mills?
He was the assistant for Scott Drew.
Oh, that's so perfect. I should have. Oh. Okay, Logan, thank you. Oh, yeah, that's why Logan Lee is one of my favorite people in the world. I knew it. I just did. I'm like, I don't know his assistants. So basically, the whole Baylor Bears coaching staff.
Yeah, man.
Be awesome, brother. Be awesome.
See you
Love you to death, man. Logan Lee, Tuesdays inside the Charles Schwab Studio. If it's not the Baylor head coach, it's the entire Baylor coaching staff and the campus and the city of Waco and the city limit signs and yeah.
He talks sports, but also Taylor Swift, fly fishing, and Willie Nelson.
Oh, I ain't going down on Brokeback Mountain.
Don't miss Chip Howard Sports Talk, evenings 4 to 6.
All right, let's go.
Here on The Zone.